Would you like to get in amazing shape in your 50s, or perhaps you would like to be the best shape you have ever been in your entire life? Well, it is absolutely possible, and in this video I'm going to show you how. So grab a paper and pen and let's get into it. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50, get in amazing shape. And amazing shape is where you absolutely can be if you follow these steps that I'm going to talk about. But first of all, you need to set yourself a realistic expectation about what you can achieve, because when you get older, it takes you longer to put on muscle, it takes you longer to shift body fat. And I've made a video all about the reasons why we get fat in our 50s and how you can measure where you are with your health and with your body fat. And I'm going to link a video up here. It's part of my series of videos about being fabulous in your 50s. And yes, it is absolutely possible to be fabulous in your 50s, despite what people might say. It is. So when we're talking about a realistic expectation, what you firstly have to consider is how long has it actually taken to gain the weight that you have, gain the body fat that you have. If it's taken you years, you cannot expect in a matter of weeks that you're going to just take it off. So that's the first thing, is consider how long it's taken you to put on this body fat. Most women in their 50s on average put 1.5 pounds of body weight on per year. Secondly, you're not going to be able to achieve the weight in your high school years. So just forget about that and put that out of the window, and actually focusing on scale weight isn't the important thing. And as I said before, it's going to take you longer than it did in your younger days. So you're going to need to have patience, and you're going to need to consider this not as something like going on a diet and then coming off again. It's about changing your lifestyle for the rest of your life. So the women that I meet that look fantastic in their 50s, it's not because they're yo-yoing around and going on a diet and coming off again. They're consistently doing this for years, and that's what actually works. So the time frame that I'm talking about is you're going to need to give yourself a few weeks just to see small changes. So, you know, things like inch loss from your waist, it's going to take a few weeks to see that. In 6 weeks, you might even find that you're starting to notice the changes visually. You might feel your clothes fit a little bit differently. In the 12-week mark, that's when other people start to notice. So maybe people at work notice, even if you're on a Zoom call and they can only see your head and shoulders, because actually losing body fat shows in your face, doesn't it? And it's gonna take 6 to 12 months for a full body transformation. So you're definitely thinking about 12 months. If it's taken you years to get to where you are now, where you've got increased in size, got more body fat on you, you need to give yourself a good amount of time to do this. In 12 months, you're going to see a significant change and a full body transformation. Now, this is where you're going to need a pen and paper, because I'm going to talk about the actual steps you need to take. And the first step is you need to have a diet that's rich in protein. So if you're first starting out and you're thinking, I don't know how to get protein into my diet, you need to be thinking about 1 gram of protein for every pound in your body weight, or if you weigh over 170 pounds, shoot for your goal body weight. And I've made a video on exactly how to get your protein in, and I'm going to link it here, and I'm going to link it in the description. So watch that video, it takes you through it. And it doesn't matter if you're vegan, it doesn't matter if you're pescatarian, if you're vegetarian, you can absolutely get in a high protein diet, no problem at at all. Secondly, as we get older, we don't want to be cutting out carbohydrate. And again, I've made a whole video on carbohydrate, and I'm going to link the video here and I'm going to link it in the description. But I do not recommend extremely low carbohydrate diets like ketogenic diets, because they're really hard for most women to stick to in the long term. You also lose a significant amount of muscle if you go on a ketogenic diet, and as I've discussed in my previous videos, that's one of the reasons we get fat when we're older, is we've lost muscle mass. So we don't want to do anything that's going to compromise that. But in terms of carbohydrates, what we need to watch for is sugar. Sugar is an absolute killer for women over 50. You need to be really limiting your sugar or cutting it out altogether. I only eat a very small amount of refined sugar, and I'm talking about refined sugar, so I'm not talking about fruit. It's absolutely fine to eat fruit. Fruit is rich in fiber and it's really healthy for you, but the problem is refined sugar, that white stuff, that brown stuff that you add to food. It's going to mess with your hormones and it's going to really cause things like insulin resistance. It's terrible for people if you are insulin resistant, and by the way, a lot of women at this stage in life in their 50s, they are insulin resistant, and especially if you've got body fat on you, you can probably assume that you're insulin resistant. So sugar is got to be limited. The same with white flour stuff. So things like pasta, white bread, steer clear of that and instead go for whole grains, which they're not going to give you a glucose spike, in other words, a blood sugar spike. They're slow releasing, and those are much better carbohydrates when you're in your 50s or older. You know, things like sweet potato, even white potato is absolutely fine. Those are going to be better for you because they're not going to cause inflammation in your body, and sugar and white flour causes inflammation in your body and it makes it really hard to lose weight. Being fabulous in your 50s means you're gonna need to move around in some way, shape or form, whether that's walking, strolling, swimming. Try and incorporate some kind of movement so you're not just sedentary all day long for around about 30 minutes a day. I like to think of like getting 7,000 steps in. That's how I track what I'm doing. So it's getting steps in, or it's thinking you need to move around for at least 30 minutes a day. Being less sedentary is really going to help you lose that body fat. It's actually going to be so much better for your health. The next thing I'm going to talk about, and this is one of the biggest game changers, a bit like protein, and that's getting in strength training. And in my next video in this series of being fabulous in your 50s, I'm actually going to make a video all about why it's important to get in strength training and what type of strength training you should do and how often. So look out for that video, but I will explain it briefly here, that it's about putting on lean muscle, whether that's strength training from home using resistance bands or going to the gym. It doesn't really matter. It could be about lifting weights, it could be about body weight exercises, but building muscle is the thing that's going to help your body burn fat more easily. So you're going to improve your metabolism if you do strength training, and that's what's happened to my own body. I've improved my metabolism, so that it means my body burns fat more easily. I can actually eat more than probably what I ate before I took up strength training. My body's burning fat all the time because muscle burns fat just when you're resting. The next thing I'm going to talk about, which is going to help you be fabulous in your 50s, not only with weight loss, but really your appearance, looking better in terms of your face, your skin, and that's sleep. Sleep is a massive game changer. If you're not getting enough sleep, your body is going to really struggle to lose body fat. It's actually quite hard. Sleep impacts on your thyroid, it impacts on your hormone health, and it's another thing, lack of sleep actually causes inflammation in your body, and you need to be reducing inflammation in your body. So do try to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time every day if your work will allow you to do that, and work on sleep strategies. I've made a whole video about sleep. I'm going to link it here and I'm going to link it in the description. So it is something that you can improve. Sleep is really difficult as you get older, but it is something you can improve and get better at. And the final thing I'm going to talk about is mindset. Mindset when you're trying to lose body fat and trying to be fabulous in your 50s is going to be really important, because what you need to do is remain consistent over time. That's what wins out. So incorporating strategies like eating plenty of protein, restricting your calories, getting your strength training in, moving more, they all require consistency over time. So I've been doing this kind of about 6 years now. I've been consistently working out and eating well. That's when you're going to see amazing results, when you've been consistent over time. So you need the right kind of mindset about this, and I've made a video all about this. I'm going to link it here, and I'm also going to link it in the description. So do check that out, and do remember that I do run my own fitness and weight loss programs for women over 40 and women over 50. So I'm going to put the link in the description. Do check them out. They include strength training, they include protein rich meal plans. So they're really going to help you out if you're the sort of person that needs some structure to what you do and something to follow, which I know I did at the start of this. Check out my programs, and do leave a comment below if you're getting fabulous in your 50s or you're hoping to get fabulous in your 50s. I'd love to hear from you.